25 most important events in 19th century Russia. Russian expansion into the Caucasia. In 1804, war broke out with Persia because of the territorial dispute. However, in 1813, Russia's victory forced the Persians to officially stop all of Georgia. Next is the assassination of Paul. In March 1801, Paul was murdered in his bedroom. There was a conspiracy of noblemen and officers that his son Alexander Pavlovich was believed to have known about the plan to overthrow his father, after he became Emperor Alexander I. The third one would be Russian-American Company. In 1799, Emperor Paul ordered the founding of the Russian-American Company as Persia's first joint stock company, which was tasked with settlement and trading Alaskan fur. In 1802, the native highland people destroyed the settlement. The response to this was the Battle of Sikita, fought in 1804. The fourth event would be the Battle of Austerlitz and Peace of Tilsit. On December 1805, the armies of the Russian Empire, led by Alexander I and Emperor Francis I, met Napoleon at the battle. The defeat led to the Austrians making peace with France and eventually the dissolution of the Holy Roman Empire. The fifth event would be Finnish Wars. In 1807, Russia declared war on the United Kingdom and fought between Royal Navy and the Persian fleet in the Baltic and Barents Seas. In 1808, when Sweden didn't follow Napoleon's system, Russia was taking care of Finland, which was part of Sweden. The Finnish War broke out between the two countries. The sixth event is Napoleon invasion. In 1810, Napoleon's decision to invade Russia came after Russia reopened trade with the United Kingdom. On the 24th of June, 1812, the Grande Armée entered Russian Poland upon crossing the river Neman, making the border between Persia and Russian Empire. The seventh event would be the Battle of Malnossovets. On October 1812, Napoleon realized he would have to go back to the same way he came to go to Moscow, meaning the destruction of the Russian that they had already destroyed all supplies on their route. So Napoleon decided to go through Kaluga. The eighth event would be Napoleon's retreat. In December 1812, Napoleon abandoned his army, and only a small group of Grande Armée made it back alive. The ninth event would be Reform of Alexander. After the French treaty was gone, Emperor Alexander I returned to reform Russia. His plans were fiercely opposed by the elite, and Alexander eventually lost hope, thinking Russian society was not ready yet. The 10th event would be the death of Alexander. On November 1825, Alexander's reign ended suddenly with his unexpected death. The death was so sudden that some say he faked his own death. Since he had no sons, he had no heirs. The 11th event is Decembrist revolt. Alexander's eldest brother had to be next to the throne, however, he didn't want to. His younger brother became emperor, and it was Nikolai Pavlovich, known as Nicholas I. Noblemen saw an opportunity of a constitution for Russia and the emancipation of the serfs. They became known as the Decembrists in December 1825. The 12th event would be the Iron Tsar. In 1830 and 1831, an armed uprising in Poland was cursed by a Prussian army, and Nicholas decreed that Poland was now part of the Russian Empire. The 13th event would be the first railway. Nicholas I's reign was also the first railway line that was 17 kilometers. It had opened in 1837 between St. Petersburg and the Imperial Palace. The 14th event would be further expansion to the Crusades. In 1826, Russia once again went to war against Persia, which ended in 1828. Russia took over control of more of Persia's territory in the Crusades. The 15th event would be Crimean War. In 1850, the Ottoman Empire had become so weakened that France and Britain were extremely worried that Russia would be the main benefactor of the Ottoman decline and would be able to implement the plan of Catherine the Great. Russia sent a mission to the Sultan in reaction, and when the mission failed, they invaded Ottoman territory in July 1853. The 16th event would be armor acquisition. In 1848, the Russian navigator Gennady Nevelovskoy led an expedition to the Russian east around the Amur River and Sakhalin. In 1855, Russia signed the Treaty of the Shimold with Japan, allowing them to settle in the north of the island while Japan took south. The 17th event would be the death of Nicholas I. In February 1855, Emperor Nicholas I died after catching pneumonia. Nicholas's eldest son became Emperor Alexander II. The 18th event would be the end of the Crimean War. August 1855, Sevastopol fell, witnessed by a young writer, Lev Tolstoy. He had wrote about them in 3 short stories known as the Sevastopol Sketches. In March 1856, the Treaty of Paris was signed, ending the Crimean War. The 19th event would be the emancipation of the serfs. Alexander II knew that Russia would never evolve as all subjects in Russia were enslaved as serfs. The formal emancipation law was signed on March 1861, ending centuries of serfdom and earnings. The 20th event would be the Caucasus War, Murid War. Since 1817, the Russians had been applying efforts to subjugate the people of the north, Caucasians, and this process gained further impetus after the victories against the Ottoman Empire and Persian in the late 1820s. The 21st event is the conquest of the Turkestan. Russia turned its attention to the land in the Central Asia, which were then referred to as the Turkestans. In 1865, Russian forces captured Turkens in New Territory. It was officially incorporated into the empire in 1867. The 22nd event would be Alaska Purchase. In 1860, Alaskan colonies were becoming more hassle than their worth due to the overhunting, competition from the British and American, and the very distance of the colonies. In 1867, it was decided to sell Alaska to the United States for $7.2 million. The 23rd event would be the assassination of Emperor Alexander II. In 1867, there was an attempt to shoot the empire in Paris, and then another attempt in St. Petersburg in 1879. On March 1881, a member of the Normandie Avoyelles threw a bomb at the emperor's carriage, killing one of his guards, and another one killing him. The 24th event would be the reign of the Emperor Alexander III. Alexander's son was the next emperor. He was known as the Emperor Alexander III. New laws were introduced in 1882, putting further restrictions on the Jews. The 25th event would be Alexander's death. The emperor died among his family at their residence of the Livias Palace outside of Yalta in Crimea in 1894. His son, Emperor Nicholas II, married Princess Alexa a month after the funeral.